Hi vlog friends. Oh my god, we're filming on a real camera today. This is crazy. Today for Vlogmas, or sorry, Glowmas After Dark. I thought it would be fun to sit down and rank Red Taylor's version, which came out obviously a few weeks ago at this point. If you've been watching for a while, you know that I'm a die-hard Swiftie, and I immediately listened to this when it launched, was very, very, very excited. And I tried to sit down and do a sort of like numbering them from best to worst, in my opinion. I got to about number 25 after I picked like the 5 I didn't like. And then I was like, ooh, I love them all. So I found a tier list, and I am going to be putting these in my tiers of which ones I think are like the best and which ones I think are the worst. And yeah, I feel like that's much easier than trying to rank 30 songs, most of which I love a lot. And this is still a good way to talk about all the songs. And if you're a Swiftie like me and you have opinions, share them. I'd love to know. All right, so I'm gonna start the screen recording. Okay, the categories we have today are This Night is Flawless, Never Go Out of Style, A Dwindling Mercurial High, Miserable and Magical, and Feel So Low You Can't Feel Nothing at All. I absolutely love whoever made this tier list. I think this is wonderful. The first thing I feel like it's appropriate to do, let's just get this out of the way. We're gonna take the All Too Well 10-minute version and we're gonna put that right at the tippy top, first in line. It shouldn't really surprise anyone that this was my favorite song on the album. I love already All Too Well. It's one of my favorite songs, as it is for a lot of people, and hearing the 10-minute version was a spiritual experience. The album launched at midnight and I went outside and stood on my porch in the rain and really listened to this so I could feel it. I did cry. I cry a lot when I listen to a song, actually. Something about this song, I think the reason people love it so much is because it is so relatable. Something about this song just takes me back to being like 18 and like being in love for the first time. Well, yeah, and just like how absolutely horrific it was. So I will always have a deep love for this song. My absolute favorite line of this song, if you were curious, was, my favorite line of this song, if you were curious, is, "You kept me like a secret, but I held you like an oath." Oof. Big oof. Yeah, this song is incredible. It is my all-time favorite song off of this album. I have listened to it probably 10 million times since it is launched. It is pretty much constantly playing in my car on repeat. I think I learned all of the new lyrics within like 12 hours of the song being out. So yeah. Also, the All Too Well short film, I'm sorry, what? I was not anticipating anything. I went into that All Too Well short film with like really like probably just zero expectations, because I was kind of just like, I don't know what this is gonna be like. I don't know if it's just gonna be like a music video. I don't know if it's just gonna be whatever, but it really was like the best way to put it, I feel, was to call it a short film, because it was just like a magical story that was told and I was obsessed with it. I could talk about the All Too Well 10-minute version for the next hour and a half, but I will spare you so we can get to the other songs. But just know that that song lives rent-free in my brain at all times, and I am constantly listening to it in my own head. Also, charmed my dad with self-effacing jokes, sipping coffee like you're on a late night show. How did we live the same life? Oh my god. I'll get older, but your lovers stay my age. She took Jake Gyllenhaal out back and just shot him down. Like, she really did that. So 10 out of 10 on All Too Well 10-minute version. It was everything I could have possibly hoped for. And to be fair, this was probably always going to be my favorite song on this album, because I have waited 10 years to hear the 10-minute version. I remember when she said that she had a 10-minute version, and I have been one of those people that has been anxiously awaiting the longer version. So yeah, that one was always gonna be number 1. Okay, next we have Better Man, Taylor's version. I'm gonna put this one in Dwindling Mercurial High. This was a sort of mid-level one for me. This was obviously one of these songs from, I think this was a vault song. And obviously all of these are Taylor's version. I'm not gonna say it for everyone, but I liked Better Man and I do listen to it. It's not like a skip song for me. Like I'm not opposed to listening to that song. I think it's a really good one, but it's also definitely more of a like meh song for me, just because I feel like, you know, I almost feel like All Too Well, the 10-minute version being so good, almost like lessened some of these other songs for me that had these just been on like a normal album, I would have been like, oh, hell yeah. Like had Better Man been on like Fearless, I would have been absolutely like, I wish you were a better man too. Like I would have been all about it. However, I think because it was on this one and the All Too Well 10-minute version was so perfectly put into words what that relationship was, I find that some of the other ones just don't match that energy for me. So it's lessened. Like I still think they're good songs. I just think in the context of the entire piece of work, they're sort of like mid-level. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Next is Nothing New. Nothing New will also be going in This Night is Flawless. Nothing New is a collaboration that she did with Phoebe Bridgers. Okay. That song shattered my fucking soul. Like absolutely shattered me. I truly have never related to a song more, I don't know if I've never related to a song by Taylor Swift more heavily, but that song really gutted me. I think growing up is really hard. I'm like, wow, what a profound statement. Did you guys know that growing up is tough? But I relate to that so heavily of like, you are 18 and you think that you know everything. You think you're the coolest person in the world. You think that like you're on top of the world. Nothing will get better than this. You're in like your glory days almost. I would say like 18 to 21 is what I thought my glory days were. Like I thought that I was living this amazing, wonderful life. I hadn't even started my fucking life yet, mind you, but I thought that I was like living in the moment and living in the best times of my life because I was always hanging out with my friends and I was always doing stuff and I was always like going out and I was having a great time. And then you hit 22 and you're like, oh fuck, I still have to live a life after all of this. Life is not just like fun. You're not gonna always be like the most exciting person in the room. You're not gonna be always the most fun at parties. Like you have to eventually like settle down a little bit and live your life. And this song hit that for me. I also think too, like, and not even just with YouTube, but I think this relates to a lot of things. When you start a job and you're like really excited about it and you're like really excelling in your field and you're like doing a great job and you're like the person people go to. Like when I worked in daycare, I used to love the fact that like I was kind of the go-to as like for my job position. Like I was like really good at what I did. But then after you're there for a while, new people come in who are not as like burned by the industry that you're working in. They have fresher ideas, they have newer concepts, and you start to almost feel like, okay, well, I was the it girl and like now I'm not. So yeah, I just related to that heavily. I think one thing that Taylor Swift has always written really well is coming of age songs. I feel like it's such a universally relatable experience to have to grow up. And she puts all of that into words so wonderfully that I just really, really vibe with it. So yeah, Nothing New. And Phoebe Bridgers was phenomenal, like so good. Okay, Babe. Okay, I'm gonna do Miserable and Magical. I wasn't a big fan of Babe. It's not my least favorite song, like it's not the worst, but again, that's one that is definitely like a sometimes skip. I'm not super into that one. I don't know what it is about it. As far as Babe goes, it just feels a little bit more like a generic pop song, which is not bad. It's just not anything that I'm like obsessed with from this album. And I also think the other songs on the album that were not new songs, like they weren't from the vault, sort of outshined this for me. Funny story about Red, actually. I told the story in the podcast, but I think it's good to tell it in this too. Red, when it first came out, it was in 2012. I had just started my senior year of high school. I had my very first car. It was a hand-me-down from my parents. It was a minivan. Her name was Cindy. And I liked to carpool with a lot of my friends because I had like a massive car and a bunch of my friends didn't have cars yet. So every morning before school, I would drive and go pick up, I would do like a rounds. There were like 3 or 4 people in particular that I was always picking up for school, and I would drive them home from school. So I remember one day after school when this album launched, I got the CD. I dragged 2 of my best friends to Target, which was like a 35-minute drive for us. And I bought the CD and I put it in my car and I literally never took it out. I would listen to this album on repeat from the beginning. I would get in my car, State of Grace, I would get to my friend's house and like 22 would be playing. By the time I was driving everyone home, we were at the Lucky One. Like, I love this album, and it's very nostalgic for me to listen to it like almost 10 years later as an adult, because at the time I was like 17 when this album came out, and I heard it in so many different ways. Like, I related to it in so many different ways. Whereas now at 26, I relate to it in a lot of other ways, just through like my lived experiences in life. To get to re-listen to these songs and relive them as a different person has been really cool. So for me, Babe is like not bad. And it's probably a song I honestly would have loved when I was like 17, but it's definitely not my like all-time favorite song off of the album now. Does that make sense? Okay, The Lucky One. This might be unpopular, but I'm gonna put this in This Night Is Flawless. The biggest reason for that is The Lucky One is one of my favorite songs. It always has been off of Red. I've always thought it was just like so powerful and interesting, and like even when I remember being when I was 17, this was one of my favorite songs. I would just fucking vibe to this song all the time because it's just so, again, like she writes about these sort of really complexities of fame very well. And I also always love the parallels between The Lucky One and The Lakes, which was the bonus song off of Folklore, because I almost feel like she's sort of like it was like watching her journey over time, where she was the lucky one and she was like doing this, and they literally in the song The Lucky One, they're like, you bought a bunch of land somewhere, chose the Rose Garden over Madison Square. And now in The Lakes, she's like, I just want to sit by a lake and with my like love of my life and just like vibe and like not be famous anymore. And it gives me goosebumps talking about it because I absolutely love the parallels between those 2 songs. And The Lucky One was always one of my favorite songs. It's just so, oh my God, so good. I have goosebumps. I love this song so much. It's such a good song. Everything Has Changed, I'm gonna put in Miserable and Magical. No, I'm gonna do A Dwindling Mercurial High. Everything Has Changed is not bad. I didn't mind that song when it first came out. I think it's really cool that she had Ed Sheeran come back on again to like re-record it with her. Was the first song she ever did with Ed Sheeran, which is kind of cool. It was like the start of their friendship. And I don't think it's a bad song. It definitely slaps. It has its moments. But again, in the context of the rest of the album, this is definitely one of my more kind of like, I'm not really like obsessed with it. You know what I mean? 22, Taylor's version. Feel So Low You Can Feel Nothing at All. I'm so sorry. In fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and get all of my unpopular opinions out of the way. I Knew You Were Trouble, Taylor's version, was also the worst. Those were the worst 2 songs in the album for me. I don't love these 2 songs with her new vocals. I feel like these songs worked so well when they did because her vocals were a lot less mature. The evolution of Taylor Swift's vocals, by the way, I could write a thesis on the evolution of her vocals. Like, it's lunacy to me how much her vocals have progressed and changed. And honestly, the fact that she has been able to evolve her voice into what it is now is crazy. I used to say, like probably 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I was like, I love Taylor Swift songs. I love the storytelling. I love the lyrics, but she is just like not the best singer. Like I never thought she was this like show-stopping amazing singer. However, I really feel like 1989 and Rep were a turning point for her in her vocals because she started finding her belt a little bit more and she started doing these more sort of like powerful performances, which I personally love now. However, if we're talking about 22 and I Knew You Were Trouble, I feel like those songs worked so well because she had sort of these like raw, like more youthful style vocals to them. Like that's why those songs worked so well. You have the like 22, like that sounded so good, but her voice was a little bit more nasally and a little bit less powerful and a little bit more subtle. And same thing with I Knew You Were Trouble, like the O's on the new I Knew You Were Trouble. Oh, like I couldn't handle it. Those were the two re-records that I really hated. Like I just could not get behind them. I honestly skipped them. I will not listen to the old ones, but I'll still try to listen to these new ones because I really respect the fact that she's trying to like take back, you know, her own recordings, and I try to listen to the new ones now when I can. However, those two, very disappointing, which is actually kind of sad because those were two singles off of Red, and I feel like those two songs really helped catapult her into fame. Like obviously Love Story was huge for her from her Fearless album, and obviously You Belong With Me. Like there were some other ones, but this one in particular, like I Knew You Were Trouble and 22 were honestly such huge bops. Especially I remember like everyone in my school knew those songs. They were super, super popular. So I think it's just kind of sad and disappointing that those two were the ones that kind of flopped for me on this album. They're not terrible, they're just not good. Like I'm not a big fan of them. Okay, Starlight. I'm gonna put Starlight and Never Go Out of Style. Starlight is, again, this is very nostalgic for me. Starlight was one of my favorite songs. Lucky One and Starlight have always been two of my faves. I'm not gonna put it up into like This Night Is Flawless. Like it's definitely not the top, because even though I really like the song, it's definitely not my favorite. I think what I've loved about this song is just sort of the like innocence of the song. Like I love how just like cute and pure it is. It's not like this super deep, crazy anything. It reminds me of like just like a cute little summer fling. And like I just love that. Like I like that it's so happy and uplifting, and like it kind of gives you a glimpse into when you really fall hard for someone super fast and everything goes really fast and you're doing all these like crazy cute things because you like just started dating and you're in this like perpetual honeymoon stage because you kind of end things at a still high note. Like it doesn't have this horrible traumatic breakup. It's just kind of like, yeah, we've kind of outgrown each other now. But that means that the entire relationship just gets to be the honeymoon stage, which is so cute. And that's why I love that song. I love the line that's, ooh, we could get married, have 10 kids, and teach them how to dream. I used to scream that in my minivan. Like 17-year-old me was like 10 kids, teaching them how to dream, sneaking into yacht club parties. Like this is gonna be my life. It was never my life. However, it's very cute. I do love this song. I love how cute it is. Begin Again I'm gonna put into Dwindling Mercurial High. This song is not bad, but it's also not great. I never loved this song anyway from the original one. I think honestly what it is about this song is it's not a bad song, but it just like low-key makes me very sad. Not in the sort of like good sad way where it's like, oh, I wanna listen to the 10-minute version of All Too Well to feel everything. This song is almost like so real. And like, I know that it's supposed to have this like really positive, uplifting, like, you know, you can go through some shit and like you can come out on the other end. And I really love that about it. But also I think I just relate to it way too hard and like not in a positive way. So I usually skip this song. I also think that sometimes the repetitiveness of Taylor Swift songs can be sort of like, not annoying, but it's just like sometimes they're a little too repetitive for me. And this one, again, has very similar themes to other ones that she's done. Honestly, I'm gonna go ahead too and put Ronan in that same category. Ronan is not a bad song. It is a beautiful song. Like it's so well done. It's gorgeous. Her vocals are incredible. It's just too fucking sad. Like I literally just cannot listen to it because it is too sad. I wish I could, but it makes me so emotional. I actually feel the same way about Marjorie, which was on the, I believe it was it Evermore that Marjorie was either on Evermore or Folklore. I think it was Evermore. And I originally didn't like the song Marjorie because I didn't like sort of the like kind of cliches in it. And then a lot of you guys, I talked about it in a video, and a lot of you guys were like, oh, it's about her grandmother who passed and it has her grandmother's vocals in it. And ever since then, oh my God, I cannot listen. It's the same thing with Epiphany. Once I really listened to the lyrics and like really digested them, they're beautiful songs and they're so like stunningly amazing. But like I just cannot listen to them because they make me too sad. The same thing with Soon You'll Get Better off of Lover. Those are all songs that hit like way too close to home. And it's a different type of too close to home because it's like, it's not just like love or like reminiscing on old relationships. It's like, oh, everyone's dead. And you're just like, oh. So those ones, while I think they're good, they also are just hard for me to listen to. So I tend to not, because I don't like to be that level of sad. You know what I mean? The moment I knew, I'm gonna go ahead and put Never Go Out of Style. This song slapped. I really loved this one. I loved the storytelling in this song. I feel like she did an amazing job at just like painting this amazingly sad picture of like how he just didn't go to her. Why didn't you go to her 21st birthday, Jake? Why? Why? She wore red lipstick for you. Anyway, I love this song. I also will say too, just the concept of there always being this sort of like moment, I feel like, in the breakdown of a relationship where you can look back on it and you can be like, yeah, this was the moment everything fell apart. Like, this was the moment for me where I knew things weren't gonna work. And I think that that is an inherently, again, relatable sentiment, because I think most people can look back on past failed relationships and they can be like, yeah, I have a bunch in my brain right now of guys, like people that I've dated and like talked to or whatever, people I had relationships with. I can look at my brain and be like, oh, this was the moment I knew that like this was never going to work. And it's kind of a sad thing, especially if you're really in the throes of a relationship. And I think the other thing I like about this is it's very relatable in the sense that it's not that she was like, oh, I broke up with him on the spot because I knew. She really goes into detail about how like you have that moment that you know, but that doesn't always mean that it ends when it's supposed to. Like, sometimes things progress past that moment and they keep going because you don't want to even acknowledge that it's the moment that you knew. However, there is always that moment in the deterioration of a relationship. It's usually a bunch of things, but I feel like for most people, there's also that one specific incident where you're like, I've had enough. I simply cannot do this anymore. Okay, Come Back, Be Here. I'm gonna put it in Miserable and Magical. Similar to Babe. It's just okay. This is another, I don't really love her sort of like drony songs, and this one fell into that category for me of just kind of being a little repetitive, a little drony. It's not bad. It's not like an always skip. Like, I'll definitely bop to it occasionally, but just kind of meh for me. Girl at Home. This Night is Flawless. Okay, this is a bop. This is what I wanted Message in a Bottle to be. I'm gonna go ahead and actually put up Message in a Bottle right now. Message in a Bottle is Dwindling Mercurial High. It's not bad, but I was expecting it to be this like amazing show-stopping pop song that I was gonna be obsessed with, and I'm honestly not. I am way more obsessed with Girl at Home. Girl at Home is such a like quintessential pop song, but it's so good. It's crazy to listen to all of these vault songs now because you can really see it. I always felt like Red, people were always really shocked when Taylor Swift went solely to pop from like Red to 1989, because in Red she was still kind of classified as a country singer, even though she was definitely dabbling in more like country pop. However, I've always felt that it was like very made sense that she went from Red to 1989. Like, it made sense that she went from this more like sort of pop country to full on pop. And I feel like getting to hear these vault songs, it makes even more sense in my brain why that shift happened and why, because she was writing all of these vault songs that are like, they're pop songs. Like, Girl at Home and Message in a Bottle could have both easily been on 1989 and they would have fit perfectly. Like, these are all very more like pop, dance beats, like just like really exciting hype songs, and I love them. Also, the message of Girl at Home, phenomenal. I just love everything about it. Like, so good. I bopped to that one. State of Grace, I'm gonna go ahead and put Never Go Out of Style. State of Grace is obviously the opening track. I've always had a special place in my heart for this song. It makes me really happy. It's a very sweet song. I love the acoustic version as well. Where is that? Yeah, I'm gonna put both State of Graces in Never Go Out of Style because I love the non-acoustic version. However, the acoustic version, this is a state of grace. Like, what? I think I've always really heavily related to State of Grace, and I've also just loved the message behind it. Again, the visuals behind it, the wordplay behind it. It's just a beautiful song that's like really well made. And I love acoustic versions of Taylor's songs in general. Like when the Forever and Always acoustic version came out, I was on that. Like I was singing that in my bedroom every single day. I love when she does acoustic versions of her own songs. Just absolutely stunning. That's why I love the Long Pond sessions so much. I honestly prefer listening to the Long Pond sessions of Folklore just because I love her more like stripped down vocals. I love her live singing voice, especially in her newer stuff. I think it's so pretty. Yeah, I love that one. Forever Winter. I'm gonna do Miserable and Magical. This one was not it for me. Like I did not love Forever Winter. I don't know what it just feels like kind of a lesser version of the All Too Well 10-minute version. And it just doesn't feel strong enough in the sense of like the entire album, you know what I mean? There's too many other good songs where this one just kind of falls to the back for me. Holy Ground, I've never been a huge fan of Holy Ground. I think I'm gonna put it in Miserable and Magical too. I've just never been a huge fan of Holy Ground. It's not bad, it's just like, I've never been like obsessed with that song from the get. It's never been one of my favorites off this album, so yeah. Sad, Beautiful, Tragic, again, I think it's gonna have to go into Feel So Low, You Can't Feel Nothing at All. I have never liked Sad, Beautiful, Tragic. Never. Not on the original album. I do not like the re-recorded version. Like it has always been one of my least favorite songs off of this album. I don't know why. Again, I think it's just sometimes. Hello? I'm filming a video about it. They really want more of you in the vlogs. The people loved you.
The people loved it?
Yeah, they loved it. Somebody said you had really great hair, which I know means a lot to you.
It does.
I'm ranking Red Taylor's version.
We're ranking Red Taylor's version?
Yeah.
I smell like Starbucks, which if you're wondering, it
You do.
smells like a coffee bean's taint.
Right. I don't know if you can say taint in a video, but we'll certainly try.
Can I say gooch?
Again, I'm not sure, but we'll try. Any thoughts?
Right, okay.
I mean, you knew this had to be up here. All Too Well
Right.
10-minute version.
Ooh, wait, something's wrong here.
What's wrong?
Wait, are these bad? No, those are good.
No, these are the best ones, and this is the worst ones, and then these are all the like in-betweens.
The good ones are red and the bad ones are green, so I'm a little thrown off.
So, okay, right. I don't make the lists.
Right, well, that's what you're doing.
No, but I don't make like this thing. Like I found this.
Right. What song am I looking for?
Which one are you looking for?
Oh, wait. Yeah, you haven't ranked Red yet. I was like, wait a second.
Well, I'm about to do Red. Where do you think it should go?
Right, definitely. It's in the top 2.
I was gonna say Never Go Out of Style.
Yeah, for sure.
Red is a really good song, but it's not like the best song on the album.
Right, and I don't even know Treacherous.
Treacherous, I don't like.
So we're gonna go the worst one.
You wanna know what's sad?
What?
So, do you know Sad, Beautiful, Tragic?
No.
Well, that's another song off this album, and Treacherous. Those are two of my least favorite songs, like, on the album from when it came out 10 years ago. Those were my least favorite songs. However, the new recordings of 22 and I Knew You Were Trouble, which were two of my favorite songs, suck so bad.
22 and I Knew You Were Trouble, though, are like, to me, they're just like so different from like her other music. I feel like they're just like so much more upbeat, and they're just like not even sad at all. And it's like, I knew you were in trouble. We're goofing around.
But do you want to hear what's crazy? I genuinely think that this was because this was the album before 1989, and I think those two songs, they were singles off of this album at the time.
And I was straight when they came out.
I think those two songs were a like segue into 1989. Like that's my theory.
1989 do be slapping.
That's what I'm saying. Like I genuinely think this was her being like, I can be a pop star too, and then she transitioned fully into pop after this album.
She did do that.
What do you think about All Too Well, the not 10-minute version?
The not 10-minute version is better than the 10-minute version because I don't want to listen to a song for 10 minutes. And here's a little sidebar. Last night, I was playing pool downstairs at Hannah's house, and she cornered me and started yelling the lyrics at me, and I was very afraid. And then it went from the yelling the lyrics to me to like weeping them at me while I was being forced to slow dance, Trauma? That was traumatic.
Our friend Christina was here and she was like, is the song over yet? And I was like, no.
Right.
I don't like this one now.
You can't like the 10-minute one and not like the short one. They're the same song.
Okay, I'm gonna pretend like you didn't just say that. They're not the same song. They're definitely different.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now I can't listen to this one because at the part where the new versions are supposed to happen, it's not there. And I'm like, ooh, it doesn't hit the same. She added so many layers to the story with the new version that now this one feels incomplete, you know?
I definitely listen to music for this story.
I'm gonna do Miserable and Magical.
Okay,
I almost do.
I don't know that one.
I just wanna tell you, it takes everything in me not to call you.
Right, now I know it.
And I wish I... Do you actually?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Okay, I would say I Almost Do is Never Go Out of Style. I genuinely really like that song. I always have. We Are Never, Ever, Ever Getting Back Together.
I feel like that's a dwindling Mercurial High or Miserable and Magical.
I'm actually going to go ahead and say this falls in with 22 and I Knew You Were Trouble, where the vocals...
It does.
Well,
I agree.
The vocals on this new We Are Never Getting Back Together are not good.
Right, so I agree with you that 22 and We Are Never Getting Back Together are like similar to like a New Year Trouble, but I just feel like We Are Never Getting Back Together, it just like hits different.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
The new version? We're talking about Taylor's version,
I
not
know.
the old version.
I
We can't
know.
listen to the old version because then Scooter Braun gets money.
Not Scooter.
Not Scoot.
Okay, so I don't care. Yeah, that one can be bad. That's fine.
Stay, Stay, Stay.
Same thing.
I hate that song.
It's with those four.
I
they're
hate
like
that
they're
song.
like the same exact vibe.
I don't like that song. I've never liked that song though because she throws a phone at his head, which is like kind of...
She's like, physical abuse is a joke. Taylor, you can't say that no matter how much money you have.
She's like, haha, he came in wearing a football helmet.
Right, because he was afraid for his wife. I don't know. Did we just cancel Taylor Swift? Oh my god.
Wait, have you heard Better Than Revenge off the Speak Now album?
No.
I'll play it for you after this. It's a slut-shaming song. It's not her best moment. It's really bad. It's like genuinely really bad. Yeah.
Taylor.
The Last Time.
I don't know that one.
What do you mean? Do you like Taylor Swift? Why are you here?
Red is like one of my least favorite albums.
It is my favorite.
I love All Too Well, the regular one is fine. I don't like the 10-minute one because it's too long. I like Red. Right. Wait, is that a... It's like my least favorite ever album.
Wait, okay.
Can we rank Evermore songs?
No, I already did that. We'll do that next time. Yeah, I did that months ago. The Last Time is... I'm going to do Dwindling Mercurial High.
Right.
Last Time's not bad, but it's not great. I Bet You Think About Me, This Night Is Flawless. Have you seen the music video? She literally goes to her ex's funeral and like fucks shit up. I feel like that's a very on-brand song for you.
Right. Ooh, I'm an agent of chaos, if you couldn't tell me.
Okay. Run.
Right, I love running.
I hated Run.
Oh, I'd like the verb, not the song.
I also hate, well, The Very First Night is not bad. Let's do Miserable and Magical.
I don't know that one either.
I feel like pretty confident about this list.
Me too.
Hold on, let me do a double check. Yeah, I feel good about that. Do you feel good about that?
I feel really good about that.
Do you want to rank 1989 when she re-releases it with me? Because I know you love 1989.
I do. We love 1989.
1989 is very, very good.
Yes.
Okay.
But we'll have to listen through the old album and then listen through the new one back to back, like song. You know what I mean? Like listen to the old one and the new one, the old and the new one, and then we can like compare notes. Right.
What would be so we're gonna be like, oh my god, she breathed differently here.
Yes. Well, isn't that the point?
Okay. I'm gonna stop the screen recording. Okay, this is my final list. I'll put a screenshot right up here for you guys to see. Feel free to roast me in the comments. I know this is gonna be some unpopular opinions in here. This is just my thoughts and feelings.
Right.
David, do you have anything else you wanna add to the vlog?
Nope.
Not anything?
Don't get Taylor's drink at Starbucks. If you want a caramel non-fat latte, then order a caramel non-fat latte.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Why didn't they come out with Taylor Swift Starbucks tumblers?
Well,
Can you imagine if they had done one themed along with every single album? So every time she does a re-release, they have like the red cup, and that's like Taylor's. When she did Fearless, it could have been like a golden one with stars on it. 1989 could be like that purple and blue color with like birds on it. Like, why did they not do that instead? Who do you know in Starbucks that I could talk to?
I think they're too busy trying to squash unions to have time for that. I'm gonna lose my job for saying that, but I'm gonna quit anyway.
Are you actually gonna lose your job for saying that? Because you shouldn't.
Maybe. I think that Starbucks is like, we're not gonna squash a union, and then they're like, squish. Okay, I think we're done here.
Is this a bad time to
I literally have a green iced tea in my car.
No,
I paid for it for sure. Yeah. Are we done? Are we done, friends?
Question.
Do you have any other questions, friends? What's my middle name? A little too private.
I love you guys. Thank you for watching today's Glomus After Dark. David, thank you for being here.
Right, you're welcome.
My buddy. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye, friends.